As the prophecies foretold, every third episode of the 5th volume, the dread pirate David would arrive and ruin any chance at a serious discussion by ranting about Stormflower.
Hey everybody, it's Thunderkitten here with my friend David.
I'm back.
And we are going to talk about RWBY Volume 5, Episode 7. I'm pumped.
Chapter 7.
Chapter 7. Thank you for correcting me.
I am nothing if not pedantic.
Oh, I've noticed. Would you like to start us off today?
Actually, how about you start us off?
Oh, we're switching things up.
Yes.
I don't know what to do with that.
You don't know how to start an episode?
Clearly. Have you listened to my show? I don't know how to start nor finish it.
A couple of times.
Yeah. So, this first scene, hang on, let me back up and say, hey, guess what? There's spoilers.
Oh, yes.
If you have not seen Chapter 7 of Volume 5 of RWBY, the show from Rooster Teeth, you should do that before listening to this, because we're going to talk all about it. Here endeth the alert. All right. So, the first scene, we've got Team Ranger and Yang and Weiss, and they're around the dinner table, and they're eating this monstrous feast of soup, apparently.
Team Rooneyper?
Team Rooneyper?
I think that's accurate. I think it's no J, no B.
Yeah.
It's everything else, though.
It's not a color, though.
Well, okay, it's a temporary. It's a
placeholder.
It's a placeholder.
It's a terrible placeholder.
It's
not a
6
color.
people also, so it doesn't count.
It's true. They're not an appropriate team.
Yeah. We've already broken one rule. We can break another.
They're just the remnants of 2 different teams.
It's sad when you put it that way.
I know, right? But it is the world of Remnant.
Yeah. Yeah, if you weren't going to make that one, I was going to make it. So.
Yep. It was just sitting there.
So anyway, sorry to interrupt. You were talking about Team Rooneyger.
They're eating food.
As they do.
As they do. Well, I thought it was really funny. They've got this humongous pot of soup. And it keeps showing them, eating more and more of it as the amount in the pot is going down. But there's still, the big old chunks of the vegetables that were apparently floating on top. I thought that was really weird.
They were avoiding the vegetables.
Yes. Apparently, they don't want to eat healthy. But they're sitting around talking, and they're basically catching up with each other. They're filling each other in on their adventures while they've been separated.
It's the moment we've been waiting for since the beginning of Volume 4. Well, the end of Volume 3, really.
Technically, yeah.
Well, most of the moment. We don't have Blake yet, but...
No, we don't have Blake yet, which is sad.
She's the stray.
Yeah, mm-hmm. She always has been.
True.
Yeah, I thought this was a really great scene. I thought that they really showcased everybody's individual personalities in this conversation.
Yeah.
I thought some of it played out a little bit awkwardly, as far as, the script was concerned. Yeah. For one, I thought it was really strange how long it took them to actually start talking about Yang's arm.
I know.
Wouldn't that be the first thing? As soon as she walks in, hey, so guess what? You have a robot arm. What's up with that? But, after dinner, they're oh, yeah, so here's her robot arm. It's really cool. But I guess they just wanted the timing to work out with the arm
it felt
match.
Artificial, but I'm willing to hand-wave that.
Yeah, it was a little forced. But
Weird.
That's fine. I also thought it was very strange how Nora was so easily scared. There are 2 times in this scene that she jumps or screams. She's and I thought that was very strange because she never struck me as someone who was shaken by very simple things.
Yeah, it was a little out of character for her.
So Weiss scared her with her summon.
The warthog grim. What? Yeah, that felt weirder to me than. And then the detached arm.
Yeah, the detached arm. Okay, that's.
I'll give you that.
I'll give you that, but I don't know. It felt weird.
It felt out of I guess she was just the archetype of the dramatic overreaction character.
I guess.
So they attributed that, but it doesn't fit her as an actual character.
I didn't think so. And I'm a big Nora fan, so I
Yeah.
think I would know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that felt a little off. There were quite a few things where it's like, okay, that doesn't, the sequence or that just didn't quite make as much sense. But there were a lot of things to like about the scene too.
Yeah, I think it was a really good scene overall, even though it had some awkward scripting issues. But I mean, that happens. Hiccups. Let's call them that.
Yeah. Happy little accidents.
Happy little accidents. I feel like there was a lot of humor in this scene. Most of it landed, some of it didn't. I think that came down to Nora being the jump scare person.
Yeah.
The arm wrestling match was really funny. I
Oh, yeah.
love seeing everybody's reactions to it.
Yep.
Made me a little bit sad. I heard Ren saying something about Team Juniper. He actually said something like,
Did he?
he
I
did. I
missed
can't remember what
that.
it
Oh.
was. Yeah. Whenever they're sitting down there arm wrestling, he says something to encourage Nora. I think it's something along the lines of basically like,
Oh, make Team Juniper proud or something?
yeah, or like show him, show him what Team Juniper's made of or something.
Yeah,
like that.
okay. Yeah.
And I was just like, oh. Like, part of me was like, oh, yay! Oh. And then the other part of me was like, oh.
That's sad.
Yeah, but Ruby was definitely, I think she was the highlight of that scene for me.
Yes.
Why is you not cheering loud enough?
You wear a skirt, Ruby. Oh, that was probably my favorite moment of the whole scene, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it was very, I love those little Ruby Weiss moments. Oh, we got some music going on here.
No, we don't.
You gonna play some tunes for us?
No.
No? Oh, well, now I'm sad.
Maybe later.
Maybe later.
That was just my guitar being like, hey,
Hey, I'm here.
I'm
Don't
over
step on
here
me.
in your vicinity. Don't hit me.
Don't tread on me.
It formed a union.
With the two other guitars in the room.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I love those little moments. Like, it reminded me of the it's a combat skirt. Yeah! Yep.
Yep. That was a great moment. I feel like they've been doing a lot of callbacks.
Yes, I've loved that about this volume. There's been so many, like, either in-character references to Season 1 or just quips and dialogue reminiscent of Season 1, which I love because that kind of dialogue and funny quips and humor was half of why I loved the show in the first place. So
Yeah, of course.
I'm
And,
excited to see it return to form.
I could see some people making comments about how maybe they're just relying upon that nostalgia or whatever. But I don't personally feel that way. But I could see how somebody could... I don't know why I'm even bringing it up. But I could see that somebody could accuse it of that. But I personally really like it.
Yeah. And maybe in
So-
this episode particularly, but it would make sense because it's the characters getting back together, so they're gonna be a bit nostalgic. They're gonna be a bit reminiscent.
Right.
It would be weird if they weren't.
Yeah, because they've come back together, and ultimately they are different people than who they were last time that they saw each other.
Thank you, Ren.
You're welcome. And it was just really nice to see them reminiscing and oh yeah, you remember when this happened? Oh yes, I totally do. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yep.
And they're teasing each other. They're having fun. And it just goes to show that even though they have been through so much without each other, they are still capable of coming back together.
Yeah. After a volume and a half of Life is Terrible,
Yes.
it's nice to have another, not quite food fight, but
We will never get another food fight.
sadly.
Unfortunately. That was pretty epic. Best part of volume 2, I think. And it's like within the first 15 minutes or something.
Yeah. Yep.
So good.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yep. Ren again bestows his vast wisdom upon the group and shows off that he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. The wise Master Ren.
I know, right? Where did he get all this wisdom?
From absorbing while being quiet all the time? I don't know.
He's an information sponge.
He's
Is that
just-
what you're saying?
Yeah, a wisdom sponge.
So, yeah, you can't.
I've met people like that in real life who are quiet. I used to be like this. I'm not anymore. But you are quiet, introspective, will observe the people around them as they talk,
Yes.
and and on occasion come out with these golden nuggets of wisdom, and you're like, oh, that's cool. I never thought about that before, or that was really well put.
Yes, I really like how they've been focusing on Rin's character in that regard. Another thing I would like to point out that, you know, back in the dinner scene when they're actually sitting around and eating, Rin is absolutely adorable. He's just so cute. I love how they've not only been giving him this wise side, but they've also given him this...
He's still got some humor.
Yeah, he's still cute and sweet. And I appreciate that, since they've been giving him a lot more lines recently.
Yes.
I feel like that really differentiates him from the other characters.
Yeah, he's kind of carving out his own niche now.
Yeah.
Now that he's had his backstory arc, now we can actually have Ren the character instead of Ren the ninja.
Yes, exactly. And I've just got to say, I love how, I always forget his name, but Monty's brother, who's voicing him now.
Oh, crap. Now I'm going to feel bad for not remembering it.
I know.
Either.
I always feel bad for not remembering his name. That's what we have Google for. Anyway, I feel like he's really settled into the role very well. And it's just great to hear him adding that sort of personality in the way that he chooses with his inflection and things and his lines. That was a really awkward sentence because my brain didn't want to do that. It was like, words, that's dumb. Just say things.
Personally, I think you're just biased because you have a purple streak in your hair like he does, so that I...
I am biased for Ren, I suppose.
It's nice to see that he can be useful in social situations, even if he's not useful in the battlefield.
Burn! For the record, we love Ren.
Yes.
We love him so much.
I've actually dressed up as half Ren before.
Half Ren. That counts.
I have a Ren wig that I've never worn. This didn't come in time when I had to do
Oh,
costume.
I know. That was sad.
That was sad.
And you shaved your face and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did you do that? I felt like if you didn't have the wig and everything, then it just didn't make sense.
Well, it looked weird having like the turtleneck with the beard.
Oh, right, because you had the,
Yeah.
That was a complicated situation.
Yeah, so we shaved.
Yeah. Your face accommodates a beard very well.
Thank you?
You're welcome.
I think that's a compliment.
Yes.
Okay.
I like your face better when it has hair on it, David.
Okay. All right.
I don't like it otherwise.
You have to break it down into simple terms for me.
Yep. I'm saying I don't like your face. Except
when... Okay.
bearded.
Got it.
I don't accept it otherwise.
Didn't know I needed your permission. Thank you for informing me.
Yep. Now you know. Carry on.
Okay. Are we done with the scene?
Yes. I think so. I don't think I have anything else to say.
No, I just had fun. That was my feeling of the scene. I had fun. Oh, and there's a brief moment. I was watching it with a friend of mine the first time, and he got up to get a drink or something, so I paused it during a moment during the scene when Nora throws the arm back at Yang. Yang's caught it, and she's just laughing her head off, which is great, because you don't see Yang laugh very often, so it's good to see. Nowadays, you don't.
Right.
So it was great seeing her laughing, and then Ruby was being all smiley and whatnot, and then there's Weiss in the corner with, like, this weird look on her face of, like, I don't know how to process what just happened. I also don't know what to do with my hands.
That sounds like Weiss, though.
I know. It was perfect. It was a perfect representation of the three of them. And I need to like go back and screen cap that and just get that picture because it's
lovely.
fantastic.
That's awesome.
You should put that on the video.
Oh, I should do that as my screen cap. I will definitely.
Or maybe just for this moment, while we're talking about it.
We'll see.
Like bring it up.
I'll look into it.
Okay.
I do want to add to that because that just reminded me. I really liked the animation for that whole little sequence with the robot arm blasting Nora into the wall. And whenever Nora's holding the arm and she's like freaking out, even though I'm not cool with her freaking out because I feel like that's out of character, I thought the animation for it was actually really well done. The facial expression, the body movements, the arm kind of flopping about, it looked really good. And then whenever she tosses it back to Yang and Yang catches it, she's sitting there laughing. That also was done very well. So it was just refreshing, since there have been a few animation oddities in this volume.
That's fair. That's fair. It's nice when the animation doesn't jump out at you as being bad. That's usually a good sign that you're doing it correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The only reason I bring that up this time is because it particularly, that scene stood out to me as far as like, oh wow, that was just really well done. It just seemed
Nice
very
and smooth.
fluid. And
Yeah. Nice.
I appreciated it.
Let's go back and rewatch it. I appreciate that. All right. Then we have the transition to the next scene, which is in the next room, and next minutes later. I was trying to have something going there, but it didn't work, so we're just gonna move on.
We're just not at all charismatic today. We don't know how to words.
English is hard, man.
Yep.
It is a terrible language.
Yeah, so the adults come in and they break up the party, essentially. And
also, why wasn't Oscar there? Poor guy. Like, I know it was a reminiscent nostalgia fest, but like, Oscar's clearly gonna be a part of this group.
Right.
So
I don't know. I kind of got the impression that while they were all eating, Crow and Ozpin were kind of having an adult conversation.
Yeah, perhaps.
You know.
Yeah.
He might have been filling him in on like, yeah, so I couldn't find anybody, and it was really tragic that all these
Also weird.
huntsmen and huntresses are gone.
Yeah. What a coincidence that they're all gone.
I know. That's just some bad luck right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. I don't know. Despite that, I don't think it was luck. But
no, I don't think so either.
yeah, there's something afoot here.
From seeing the list in the last episode, where it's basically all these people who were out on missions, and you can see how long they've been gone and when they went on their missions and everything, and it kind of seems like, oh, the hunters may be hunted currently.
Yeah. I suspect we'll see more of that later on.
Yep.
Anyway, so we're back to the... And also, you talking about Ozpin and Crow talking, it kind of made me wonder, Ozpin spending a lot more time in control. I wonder how Oscar feels about taking the backseat so much, especially in these last couple of episodes. It's been pretty much exclusively Ozpin. Last time we really saw Oscar was in the training room with RWBY.
That's very true. I don't know. I don't think I would be cool with it if I were in his situation.
Yeah.
I think I would be like, I get that you've got important stuff to do, but I would like to be more a part of this. Give me something to do.
Yeah. Also, giving me back control when my hand is on the shoulder of an attractive girl who's much older than me. Okay, so this scene, who spoke first? I forgot. Was it Nora?
Who talks first? Do I talk first? You go first.
I love that line.
Yep.
Someone speaks up and asks a question, and I forget who it was. No, it was Weiss.
No, it was Weiss. Weiss was...
Yep.
She was basically like, yeah, so that's what everybody told us, and all this magic stuff
true.
is real? What?
Yeah.
That's my Weiss impersonation.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I've heard your Weiss impersonation. That was not it.
How dare you?
There it is.
That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Weiss is very hard for me.
Well, you stick to the classic line, "How dare you?" and
There you go.
Yeah. This scene is weird this scene in the last chapter when they were talking with Raven is weird, or I guess it was 2 chapters ago they were talking with Raven. It's weird as an audience who's been following this since like volume 3 or volume 4, that to see some of these characters like just now finding out things that we as an audience have known for over a year now at this point.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to kind of go back and step back into your shoes of a year ago when you felt, oh, wow, there's magic and whatnot. And how surprising that was as an audience year and a half, 2 years later, that now some of the main characters are starting to find this out for themselves, and it's kind of hard to feel that same surprise.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a disconnect there.
Just a little bit, yeah.
And, I mean, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not saying that it's good, obviously, but it's basically just a side effect of the way that they've chosen to go about things. And
I'd call it bad, but not necessarily something that there's not an easy fix for that.
Right.
Based on how their story was.
I would say that it is a negative side effect.
Yes.
But I wouldn't say, oh, it's bad. Because, I don't know, I feel like there's just an automatic...
Bad and negative are very similar words, Kylie. I don't know if you're aware of this. English strikes again.
English strikes again. I failed my words.
But yeah, that was a little bit weird to try to empathize with the main characters here who are like, oh, all shocked. Oh, maidens and Salem.
Oh, Salem is bad?
Who's
what?
Salem? Yeah.
She's gonna kill everybody? You don't say.
Yeah, this person we saw at the end of Volume 3, two of our 4 main characters are just now finding this out for the first time. Ruby's known for a volume, yeah.
Yeah.
Blake still doesn't know.
Blake, yeah, she knows nothing about what's going on. Oh, man.
We're not going to see Blake come back to the group until the end of the volume, I don't think.
Very possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't watched stuff. Okay. I haven't watched the episode that was uploaded yesterday, which was 10.
I've only seen up to 7.
I've seen up to 9 at this point. Okay.
So you know more than I do, so I will not continue this conversation.
I'm not going to spoiler. I'm not going to spoilerify you.
I don't think that's a word.
Psh, the Harry Potter universe it is. It's a spell. Spoilerify.
What?
Done. Now you know everything that you don't want to know. Everything's ruined. I need sleep, apparently. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in this review today.
What? Out of left field, a Harry Potter reference. That's not even a reference, it's a made-up reference.
It's a made-up reference, yeah.
To a made-up world.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
About a made-up world. Okay, yep. All right.
There you go.
That's where we went.
I just, I want to point out
that
I normally
let me ask,
take
do they have a
today?
potato whittling spell in Harry Potter?
Do they have a potato whittling spell? I don't know.
I have to ask after the nonsense that was last episode.
Well, what is Latin for potato?
Well, spoiler isn't Latin, so apparently we've already broken that rule.
Well, okay, fine. Is this really what we're going to sit around and talk about today? I feel like my subscribers deserve much better content than what I typically deliver every week.
Hey! I don't know about you guys who are listening, but I was laughing to the last episode. It was ridiculous nonsense. And made the mistake of listening at work, so I didn't get a whole lot done during that time period.
Well, I mean, it was me and Kat, and you know what happens when we get together.
Yes, as everyone found out.
Now the world knows.
Now the world knows. Never put these two together in the same city.
Apparently not. Nope. Well, to be fair, she doesn't live in this state.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, see?
You made the mistake of bringing her into the state.
Yeah, she drove here, and it was a bad idea, I guess.
And then we made up potato whittling out of sharpening a knife.
Actually, watch that episode today. It totally is. I told you, it totally is. He's whittling. He's whittling wood. It is wood. It's totally wood. And whenever Crow comes back...
Is it different?
There's a bunch of stuff like on the bar next to him that's like obviously wooden things that he sculpted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like, yes. They just didn't animate like the shavings.
Okay, I was confused. It sounded, all right, yeah. It sounded like he was scraping, so I thought he was just sharpening a knife, just the wrong direction.
No, he's just bad at it. He apparently doesn't know how to actually take the material off, but, you know.
He's getting those practice strokes in before he, professional whittlers take practice strokes before every actual shaving. Mm-hmm. Make it count.
We should topic.
Yes, back to the scene at hand.
What was going on?
We just started the scene. Because we were talking about Weiss and their reactions to magic is a thing.
Yes. So I thought it was really interesting. Obviously, Yang is upset.
Yes.
She does not hide this fact from everybody. The last episode, when we see that she's upset with her mom for like, oh yeah, you showed all this interesting stuff to me, all these things that Crow has been keeping a secret, and blah, blah, blah. I am frustrated because secrets are not fun. And then whenever it gets over here, now she's with the group, now she's with Crow and Ozpin, and she's upset. And I found it really interesting how she was portrayed as being kind of just a moody teenager. It just felt like she was overreacting, like she didn't have all the information. And I actually really liked that, because then it was like, these people are grown-ups. Ozpin has been around for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't a decision that was made lightly. None of these are decisions that have been made lightly. And maybe you should just cool off a little bit and hear what we have to say first.
Yeah. But on the other hand, they weren't volunteering any information. I think that was her beef with it. That's why she was moody. It wasn't so much they were, let me explain everything to you. It was more, let me explain what I think you need to know.
Yeah.
And every teenager loves being told,
yeah.
you don't know anything and you're not ready for everything right now and all that good stuff. So
Exactly.
Yeah. It's totally understandable. That makes sense.
Yes.
And I don't think it was overreacting, because honestly, an overreaction would be her kind of dramatically charging Crow and Ozpin and be like, I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Robot arm to the face.
Yeah. And no, she was surprisingly mature about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree that she was mature. I just thought it was really interesting how the scene starts off and it's like she's got her arms crossed, she's slumped in the chair, she's just kind of like, yeah, whatever, you grown-ups and your secrets.
Yeah.
And I really liked how this was a scene where you got that sort of taste of like, yeah, you still kind of are a kid.
Yeah.
Because so often in shows and movies that are focused on teenagers or high school or anything like that, then the adults are the ones that are the frustrating ones because they're stupid and the teenagers know everything and blah, 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 blah.
The Harry Potter effect.
Yep. There we go. We came back around. Harry Potter.
Back to Harry Potter.
Yep. And I just thought that was very refreshing. It was like, she does seem like she's kind of, like she's upset and that's fine. She's justified in being upset.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like she was kind of throwing a fit in a way, like her own little silent fit, and I liked it.
Yes, it was good.
And I liked how Ozpin kind of acted almost like he was acknowledging that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of like, okay, she's got some things that she needs to hear. Let me say what she needs to hear.
Ozpin's good at that, isn't he?
Oh, yes. He will tailor any conversation to
the man Ozpin.
The people that he's talking to.
Oh, man. Oh yeah, so I love the line when Ozpin says, "Oh yeah, we turn them into birds," and Red's like, "You turn them into birds," and Nora goes, "Okay, now you're just messing with us," which is a fair reaction.
Yes.
But my favorite line is John muttering to himself, "What else is new?"
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, John."
Yeah.
That hurts. It's a bit close to home.
Yeah, as he has felt the weight of Ozpin's manipulations.
Yes, he has.
There was a lot of heft in that statement, and if you're not really thinking about it, it's just easy. The scene just sort of breezes right past it.
Yeah.
And I missed it the first time. Like, I knew that he said it, but I didn't really think about it. I was just like, yeah, everybody's kind of ticked off right now. But going back, watching it the second time, I was like, oh, Jean. Oh, buddy.
Yeah. It's the first time we've seen him say anything about that in the presence of Ozpin, honestly.
It's true. I mean, he doesn't talk about it very much at all.
Yeah, we've only got a little bit in Volume 4 with the fireside chat with Crow.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, Crow wasn't really the one responsible for that.
Exactly.
So that issue's not been resolved yet.
Nope.
See where that goes.
Yeah, and I feel like with the way that Jean has been dealing, obviously we haven't seen him really healing after all of that. He hasn't.
That's true.
He hasn't dealt with it.
He is not over it.
At all.
We got a lot of that in Volume 4 of implications and hints that he is not dealing with this very healthily. There's a lot of unhealthy things we see from John. Mm-hmm. That little arc was never resolved.
Right.
We never got a conclusion to that. So
No. I feel like at some point he is going to explode.
will that be tied into when he finally unlocks his semblances?
Ooh, maybe.
Because that's such a that's his biggest character thing, is his relationship with Pyrrha and how that went down. So however that gets resolved, I have a feeling that's going to be...
It's got to be Pyrrha related.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But is it going to be Pyrrha related, or is it going to be Pyrrha related to Ozpin related? That's the question.
Yeah,
It's almost certainly going to be Pyrrha related no matter what.
sure. But is it going to be like, oh, I finally have come to terms with the fact that my not actual girlfriend died? Or is it, I've finally come to terms with the fact that the guy who is responsible for it didn't really intend for it to happen and would have stopped it had he had the chance?
Right. Well, while we're talking about Ozpin,
Oh boy.
there's been a word thrown around a lot, which I find very interesting. It's been growing bigger and bigger and bigger as the story progresses. And that word is choice.
Yeah?
And this started all the way back in Volume 3 with Pyrrha.
Yep.
This is where we first really saw Ozpin for who he truly was, or whatever his true name is. I don't know at this point.
Sure.
And how he orchestrated this situation in which, I don't think this is necessarily bad intentions, but just the way he operates, he created a situation that seemed like a choice but really wasn't.
Oh.
He gave Pyrrha the choice, or so he said, of becoming the Fall Maiden. But the way he presented it, he knew there was really no way in good conscience she could turn it down.
That's true.
And what makes that even more interesting is that is the relic of Beacon, is choice.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. Ozpin's own relic that he personally watched over, and that he was going to have Pyrrha watch over, be the guardian of, was choice.
That is an excellent point.
And now it's coming back, because now that Ozpin's back, he again in this very episode tells people now you have a choice, when he really knew nobody was gonna back out at this point. No, everyone was too invested. No one's gonna say, you know what, actually I'm out, I'm gonna go home. Some of them don't even have a home, so
I did find it an interesting little touch that in that silence after he asks, or after he says, think about it, you do see everybody kind of thinking about it.
yeah, it was kind
I
of
think
a
Weiss's face in particular stood out to me. And that she looked like she was second guessing for a moment.
that would be surprising to me, because I feel like she, of most people, would be the one to be, no, I am not going back home.
Sure.
I just found my family.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was I'm going back home, but
Right.
I kind of got the impression that it was really like, oh yeah, we could seriously die. Do I want to risk myself in this situation? Guess I am. All right, let's do this. Kind of thing.
Yeah, and she also had the context of what Raven told them.
Yes.
Which brings us back to choice.
Oh boy.
Is it chapter 6 or chapter 5?
It was chapter 6.
It was chapter 6, yeah. So Raven is the one talking about choice.
Yeah.
Both in that she is telling them about what Ozpin did to them, turned them into birds, which she implied there was no choice.
Whereas
Crow
was
says,
like, we chose this.
we made this choice. But then you
Yeah.
have to wonder, was it a Pyrrha-style choice?
Oh, yeah?
Where Crow felt like they had a choice, but they really didn't, and maybe Raven did at the time, and then later realized, oh no, this was
Ozpin
his
choice.
forces. Yeah, this was Ozpin's choice.
Yeah.
Which I have a feeling that's what happened. And then Raven herself gives Yang an actual choice. Stay here with me, and I'll tell you, everything you want to know and more, or go with Crow. Of course, she's not also thinking about what Yang's thinking about is, I don't even care about Crow, I'd only care about RWBY.
Yeah.
Which, if it was just down to those two choices that Raven presented, that would be interesting. Both of those seem viable.
Yeah.
If you take RWBY out of the equation, both of those seemed like viable choices.
Yeah. Then there would actually be the temptation there
Yeah.
of choosing one side or the other, but she's just not.
Yeah. It's not a loaded choice.
No.
Like what Ozpin prefers.
Yeah, and the more we get to see of Ozpin, the more it sort of confirms that idea that he's not the most upstanding person in the world. You know, whenever we're first introduced to him, he seems like, oh yeah, he's kind of like the Dumbledore of the universe. Which he kind of is.
Kind of is.
Because even Dumbledore had his flaws.
Yep.
You know, they're both very well-intentioned guys. I believe that they absolutely feel like what they're doing has to be done for the good of the world. Mm-hmm. But they're not above making those decisions or crossing the line into doing kind of deceptive or even something that could be considered evil to get something good done. They kind of have that justifies the means kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that they're blurring that line with Ozpin. I like how they're not making it so clear cut.
Yep.
That's just good to see.
It's good storytelling because you start out and it's very kind of a good guy, bad guy kind of show.
Right.
You got your good guys and the students and at Beacon Academy, and then you got your bad guys, the White Fang and Roman Torchwick, and then Cinder, she's evil lady.
She has nefarious plans.
And it's pretty black and white. And then now we're seeing, now we have Raven, the neutral party, and now we have maybe Ozpin's not as bad as he seems. Mm-hmm. And then there's some people on the evil side that don't seem like they're truly evil people. We're getting hints. Yeah. Like Hazel seems pretty interesting.
Yeah, he obviously has his own sort of moral code.
Yeah.
The extent of that is not exactly clear.
Yeah.
But
we've gotten very little of him, so I want to see more of him. But what we have seen is he's not just a bad guy as far as he just wants to cause pain and evilness. He's got his own code, his own way of interacting with people. The only person who's horrible through and through are Salem and Adam.
Yeah.
Let's say, and maybe Tyrion.
Maybe. I feel like he just sort of does what Salem wants him to do.
Yeah.
He doesn't really seem to have his own will.
Yeah.
I do want to say that this whole idea of the gray area being where people are primarily operating, it's not new to the show. Even though the show started off as this idea of clear-cut, good versus evil, whatever, you still get hints of it early on. It was really funny just hearing you say, things were black and white. It automatically made me think of the episode titled Black and White that was talking about Blake and Weiss and how they both had excellent reasons for feeling the way that they did, but they just happened to conflict with each other. I find it very clever.
Excellent is relative, but yes.
Sure, excellent is relative. They both had their reasons for believing what they believed and feeling the way that they did. Blake was a faunus who felt like she had been persecuted by people like Weiss, and Weiss was like, I've had to suffer because of the faunus.
Right.
I've had to deal with this. And I found it to be very clever that they chose to name it Black and White because it wasn't.
It's the gray area episode.
It just happened to be about Blake and Weiss.
Right.
Yeah.
Their episode titles are pretty good.
They are. I do appreciate them.
And then I thought of PvP and I made myself sad.
Man, I remember whenever that episode title was released, and I was just like,
no.
It's gonna be bad, you guys. And then it was.
Bad. Yep. We were talking about choice. Yeah, so I think that's interesting. I don't know where that's gonna go.
Yeah.
And how much they're gonna play that up, but I find that very interesting.
I agree. And I hadn't exactly picked up on that either. So that was news to me. Kudos, David. I appreciate your insights.
Thank you. Get those every now and then.
Every once in a while, you're good for something.
Okay. Every 3 episodes, I'm good for a review.
Yep. That's it. It's like every 3 weeks.
Hey, David. Are you free?
Are you free, David? Do you want to talk to me in front of a microphone? Going back to what we're talking about, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. This is supposed to be... Since when has that ever mattered? This is supposed to be a discussion about RWBY Volume 5, Chapter 7, for those of you who are just tuning in. Myself included. Ozpin finally confirms the long-standing theory that we've all had.
Yep.
That he is, in fact, the wizard from the story of the maidens.
Great wizard. The great and terrible
Ozpin. Yep.
Yes.
So I feel like I'm glad that that's actually finally confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm kind of sad because it's like we all guessed it so early on. It seemed so obvious so early on.
Yeah.
That it doesn't really feel like there's any payoff.
Yeah, it's one of those things when you make it that obvious and then you take so long to get to the actual confirmation, you kind of... If it's that obvious right away, you should just confirm it right away.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was a good way to do that, but I think this was definitely the most natural way in, like, from purely in the world.
Yes.
It made the most sense to do it now, but from a storytelling perspective, it didn't make as much sense.
Right. Considering that how long it's been.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
and you almost hope for like new information of like, oh, a new perspective from just here's the fairy tale version, and then what Ozpin said was, here's my personal perspective on it. We didn't even get that. It was just...
Right. It was just, oh yeah, and there's this thing that you already knew.
That you already knew.
You know, whenever that episode first came out, where it's like, oh, so there's this whole lore and stuff going on in the world with the season maidens and stuff. Okay, that's cool. And then immediately the internet explodes with Ozpin is the wizard, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, sure, maybe, all right, that's fine.
Oh, you've made more mistakes than any man, woman, or he's been around a while. Okay,
yeah. And then it's all like, now I've possessed Oscar.
You reincarnate, yeah.
Yep, that would explain everything. Yep. Thank you, Ozpin. So I feel like that's just one of those, like we were talking about, the unfortunate side effects of particular ways of storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah. While it's still a good story, the way that it has been presented, not exactly the best way to go about it. But, you know, I'm not in charge of these things. I'm not a professional whenever it comes to storytelling, so my opinion is not exactly going to be held in the highest regard.
Just the internet's opinion. That's all, right?
Yep. That's it.
Oh, and one other thing, when he was talking about how Ozpin made Crow and Raven his eyes as birds, which was also something that's been, like, obvious and thought for a long, long time, and we finally got confirmation. Of course, that was Chapter 6 that we got official confirmation that Raven was also a bird, which was a theory that I also subscribed to.
Yes. I mean, it made sense.
Yeah, it made sense. How else would you explain the ominous shot of the Raven outside Yang's window at the end of Volume 3?
Exactly.
But the person I was watching it with the first time, Chapter 7, pointed out that something that had come up when we first saw Crow turn into a raven, and I've forgotten about since, but people were talking about how if Crow and Raven were both birds, that would be a reference to Odin, actually. Because Odin traded his eye for a pair of ravens.
That's right.
Who were his... actually, like, his eye, like, far-reaching eyes, spies, and whatnot.
True. Oh.
So we finally got confirmation of that.
That is an excellent
reference.
Point.
So thank you, anonymous friend of mine.
Yes, indeed. I hadn't even thought about that. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot that people were talking about that. And that's awesome.
That's really cool.
I love that we start still finding out these little references and what. I remember that was big fun in season 1 of like finding out, ooh, what was this a reference to?
I know, it was like a little Easter egg hunt.
Yes, it was. It was fun. So we're still getting some of that. That's good.
I thought it was really cool how Ozpin, while clearly he had made some choices that weren't the best and had upset some people, he was willing to admit that he freely omits information.
Yes, I like to play things, what was it, close to the chest?
Yeah. And you can certainly understand why somebody would want to keep certain things unknown.
Yeah, it's a perspective thing. He's got a very different perspective than everybody else in that room.
Yeah. I don't think there's not a single person in that room that could relate to him. There's not a single person in that city who could relate to him, I don't think. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody who could understand exactly where he's coming from, having lived so long.
Yeah, which makes me wonder how Salem operates. Like, obviously she's been around as long as he has, maybe longer. That was kind of the implication, is that maybe she's older than he is. And so, how does she recruit her minions? How was Team Witch recruited? 'Cause they're all roughly the same age, around 30, give or take. Cinder probably is the youngest, but still.
Right.
Who does she usually use, and what's her long-reaching plan, stuff like that. So that's interesting to think about.
It really, really is.
Does she reincarnate, or is she just that long living,
Oh, yeah.
I'm willing to bet the latter.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't get the impression that she changes forms at all.
Yeah. It's a very...
I mean, if I were her and I could change forms, I probably would.
Oh, okay.
Her character design is awesome, and I love it. But I'm just saying, like, if I could change bodies, I wouldn't be that.
You wouldn't be that. Well,
I wouldn't be that.
You're not a fan of the spider web thing that she's got for hair? Like, I don't know what that is.
I mean,
but it's like
again,
construction.
Looks really cool. It's a fantastic
Okay, so what do you not like about it?
I'm saying I wouldn't want it.
You wouldn't want.
I'm saying if I were in her position and if I could change bodies, I wouldn't choose to look like an obvious villain. I'm just saying.
I don't think she has to worry about that in her obvious villain castle in the middle of all the obvious villain spawning pools for you StarCraft fans
true.
out there.
Villain spawning pools.
Yeah. There's some strong StarCraft correlation. I don't know how much you know about StarCraft.
I know some about it.
And she's kind of the Queen of Blades and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nope, yeah, she totally is.
So something else I noticed in the scene, this is the last thing I have, I promise, for the scene,
Okay.
is when Ozpin is talking, there's that mysterious ticking noise again.
Oh.
It's clearly not a pipe bomb. Harry
It's-
Potter reference again.
It's a pipe bomb. It's not really a Harry Potter reference.
It's a reference to a reference. It counts.
It's a reference to a Harry Potter reference.
Yes. But anyway, Ozpin, I first noticed this in like volume 1 or 2, I forget which, but when like he's talking to people having important meetings in his clock tower, well, it's a clock tower, so there's the ticking.
There's the ticking.
There's
yes.
the ticking, but that's like the only time you hear ticking, and it was loud enough. It seemed intentional.
Yes.
That it was important.
Did you notice that in the previous volumes also, whenever he was having conversation and the ticking was there, it would also speed up depending on how tense conversations were.
Yes, thank you. I noticed that the first time.
Yeah.
It sounded
thought that was
like a
nice
heartbeat.
touch. Yeah.
It sounds like a heartbeat. And now it makes me wonder, is it the cane? Because that's
Maybe.
the only object that's been there the whole time.
Could be.
Because
not a bad
it's
theory.
clearly got clockwork gears in it.
Yes.
And it was interesting. We still have no idea what's going on with the choice relic,
Nope.
the clock tower, and Kevin. None of those have been explained
Oh yeah,
at all.
Kevin. Haven't talked about him in a while.
Yeah. He hasn't been around for a while.
No. I mean, he wasn't really around for a while prior.
Nope.
It was just like, oh, guess what? There's a dragon.
There's a freaking dragon.
Oh, guess what? It's not.
It's frozen.
It's not a problem anymore.
Well, right now.
Nighty night, Kevin.
Yeah, so there's still a lot of Ozpin related things that are not explained, and I'm excited to. I want to know. Also, I'm curious what your thoughts are. Do you think the cane is the relic?
I think that it is a good possibility for the relic. It is certainly something that he keeps on his person as frequently as possible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also a weapon. And I would be hesitant if I had a priceless relic that I didn't want to be destroyed. I wouldn't start beating people up with it. So
Let's put it through as much abuse as possible. Well, the only reason I bring that up again is because I think it's implied that Team Witch has not yet found the relic at Beacon, despite having all this time to look through it.
Right.
And so the only real thing that's of note that has been taken from Beacon is Ozpin's cane.
Yes.
So
and
I think that's the strongest clue we have.
And it was seemingly very important to have it.
Yes.
So, it certainly is a great candidate for the relic.
But then the question is, what does a cane that extends and has clockwork gears in it have to do with choice?
It's true.
How does that represent
It
choice?
could be something that is in the cane and not the cane itself.
Oh.
Like, it's got that little orb thing on top. It could be the orb, or it could be it could be like inside the orb. Like
That's
a
good
prize.
thought. That's a good thought. Could be
And a
just
Wonder Ball?
container. A what? Oh, it's an 8-ball! Oh! Yes!
Yep, there you go.
Yep.
See,
There
he
it is.
just shakes it to
He just shakes
decide.
it. That's why he's made so many mistakes. He's like, what do you think I should do? Unclear. Okay, let's try again.
It's just like,
I
should
shouldn't help these people? No? All right, Kate spoke. I'm sorry.
Should I ask Pyrrha to be the fall maiden? Shake, 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 shake. Yes.
Okay.
Should I give these people all the answers they deserve? Shake, 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 shake.
Ask again later. Okay.
There we go. We solved it.
This is my favorite theory.
Yep. That's a fantastic theory. I like it.
The choice relic is an 8-ball, confirmed.
We have proof and everything.
Yes.
I do want to say, Yang, in this scene, very maturely insists that Ozpin not hide anything from them, since they are risking their lives. And Ozpin seems to respect this a lot. He seems to. He has a look on his face where he's like, that was a very good and smart thing for this girl to ask, so okay. Now, I'm not saying that he is absolutely going to oblige her. That has yet to be seen. I feel like he's going to try his best, but I feel like he's still going to have some things that he's going to
he still has his reasons for playing things close to the chest, and those reasons haven't changed that we know of. Yep. So
then our ending scene.
And then our ending scene.
Yeah. So Mercury and Emerald show up again.
Yes!
Oh, so good to see them again.
Yes!
And they show up and they give Mr. Mullet Toothless Creep a hard time.
Yes! I love that he responds to, "Hey, ugly."
Yeah.
It's such a classic bully line, and I love that Mercury's the one who said it, and he responds to it. It's just...
it was pretty great.
That's classic. That's classic.
And he seems to at least recognize Cinder.
I noticed that. That was interesting, because her face wasn't exactly plastered all over the news. She made a point of that. So how does he know Cinder?
I don't know. It kind of makes you wonder, have the bandits had encounters with Team Witch or Salem's cronies before?
That's possible, because Raven clearly not on their side.
Right.
And so they may have fought before. That's possible. Yeah, I wondered about that. That was weird. It was like, oh, he's clearly scared out of his mind of Cinder. I doubt that he recognized Dr. Watts. He
might have, but I feel like it was heavily implied that it was Cinder, that he was like, oh.
Oh, snap.
Done messed up.
Not again.
Not again. Poor guy. He really is having a bad week.
Yeah.
You feel bad for him.
Yeah, last week of his life, really.
The last week of his life. We don't know that he's dead, to be fair.
Which, again, I haven't seen chapter 8 and 9 yet, but I am looking forward. I really hope we see a maiden versus maiden fight. I'm not even looking at your face, because I don't want to see how you're reacting to this.
Nope.
And everyone else listening to this is like, oh, yeah, they don't actually fight, or whatever. And it's going to be disappointing.
Everybody's like, poor David.
Poor David. That is the story of my life. Like, I hope this happens. Nope, that's not going to happen.
Or everybody's like, oh, David, it's so good. You need to watch it.
You need to watch it.
Or it's very disappointing. You should give up now.
Okay, well, the
show is garbage.
Don't play with my emotions.
It went down. I hate this game of emotions that we play.
Oh, man.
All right, you have anything else to add?
Nope, that was perfect.
Oh, there we go. This is the end. But you guys should subscribe and like my videos and share it with people.
Yes, preferably with people who have actually seen RWBY.
Probably so. That's most beneficial, I think. Or just throw them into the thick of it. There you go.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll convince them to watch RWBY.
See? With all of our marvelous points. And our spot-on commentary.
Yes. Yeah, because RWBY is just so captivating that we can't talk about anything else.
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
So,
Thunderkitten, you've turned off your targeting computer.
I got this. Yep, we're done.
This was fun.
Bye, David.
Bye?
And bye, everybody else!